Just got into number 10.
And I assure this House that as long as I remain Home Secretary, nobody will be sent to prison for parasitism. What will you do then, Senator Chris? If my friend would hold his tongue for one moment. My friend knows that we are discussing the work child.
He'll be calling us that if we don't get on with this piece. Oh, no, Marley, not that voice impetus machine. Makes far too many mistakes. Much rather dictate.
You really must come up with the times.
Yeah. Damn thing was misspelling all day yesterday like a teenage secretary. Any mechanic with a skill to put it right's got out to America.
Well, that's an exaggeration.
It's usual place at 7. I don't trust these fools. Fine. Well, I just speak to me as possible. He's not going to attract attention. The stack
I can see you're in one of your moods.
I will be in one of my moods if we don't get this done.
Start when you like, I'm ready.
Catch line, arcs.
Arcs?
Arcs. Are we clear?
Those who hide from work. I will not shirk from seeing that parasites of every kind will be encouraged to see the error of their laziness and find useful places in society.
Dan's in good form today.
The iron hand in the glove of steel.
I thought you milked it a bit. The Home Secretary hates practical jokes.
I was joking.
Arcs. I didn't know you were into wildlife.
Marley, I love you. I really love you. ARCS. A-R-C-S. Adult Rehabilitation Centres.
Oh, I see.
Quite. All right. Here we go. 5 large country houses. 2 of them once classed as ancestral homes. have been bought by the government for conversion into psychiatric hospitals, special psychiatric hospitals for the treatment of social misfits. New paragraph. These, quote, hospitals, quote, are referred to in secret Whitehall documents as adult rehabilitation centres and will come under the Home Office's Public Control Department.
Nobody in his right mind would see that as unfair. The new regulations to curb parasitism pose no threat to liberty.
Oh, switch him
I
off.
give my personal word to this house.
Humbug.
Oi, you wanted to listen to that bastard, didn't we, Doctor?
Get your jacket off now.
Come on, Doctor hasn't got all day, and you can stop swearing.
You were telling me about these men who came last night.
Yeah, 3 of them came to see if I was moonlighting. Still coming to, eh?
But you weren't, were you?
He'd just taken his painkillers. He was almost asleep.
Let's have a look at your back. Come on, lie down. How is it there?
Bloody hurts.
Stop swearing, Jack.
It's listening to the Home Secretary, isn't it? There?
Pretty bad, yeah.
I bet you swore at that lot last night.
No, he didn't. He was doped up. But I did.
Anyway, you saw them all.
No, the bastards will be back. They could see I weren't moonlighting, so they changed their tune.
Said he was malingering, or one of them did.
Did they leave their names?
Do they ever?
No names, no bloody faces.
I know their faces. Bully boys from the Public Control Department.
Yeah, it's still there. Get your jacket on. If they do come back again, you will ring me right away, won't you?
Not right away. The nearest phone that works is a mile from here.
Well, as soon as you can, then. And in the meantime, if the pain gets any worse, you take one of those.
Well, when can I get back?
What, to work?
Yeah.
Don't let those jackboot boys push you about. When I say, not them.
If they do come back, I'll kill them, I swear.
Slowly, Mrs. Gray. Very slowly. Parasitism.
Mr. Carr's office. Oh, just one moment, Miss Lomas. I'm afraid he isn't here just at the moment, Miss Lomas. Should I get him to call you? Right.
Did he call back?
No.
Gone to Earth again?
Surveillance showed him still at the office.
Surveillance? They never seem to know whether he's in his office, in his bath, or in Kingdom Come.
That's wishful thinking.
What?
Kingdom Come.
It ill becomes you, Delhi, to make smart aleck remarks when Kyle is about to dish us yet again.
Oh, we don't know for sure. We don't know.
We know. We know Kyle has classified information on the adult rehabilitation centres. We know he intends to publish tomorrow, don't we, Henry?
We know.
You seem well plugged into Fleet Street, Henry.
And it worries me, Delhi. It is a matter of some concern to this department that you were unaware that Kyle had this story. I mean, he is your responsibility.
Or perhaps you'd like to let Henry take him over.
Henry can't cook. Can you, Henry? And you can. Kyle likes your cooking. Sorry, but you know what I mean. Let's just say that from time to time he has taken notice of you for reasons that we won't go into.
Why not? He fancies me, or seems to.
Perhaps he'll fancy you today. And take your advice not to go ahead with the ARC story. In the public interest.
He didn't call her back.
No. And I do find that alarming.
Let Henry take him over, then.
Delhi, You are a deputy controller of this department, like Henry, and as such you do have duties and responsibilities to match. As regards Kyle, you must agree that you have natural qualities not shared by Henry.
He seems to be doing all right.
In half an hour, I am going to have to disclose to the Home Secretary exactly what Kyle intends to publish tomorrow. I don't relish the thought of his miner's boot up my backside.
Well, he wears handmade Swiss shoes now.
I should like, by the end of the day, to be able to reassure him that that story will not go out in the morning.
The Home Secretary will get nowhere with the proprietors of that rag. He never does.
And our worthy permanent secretary will get no further with the editor. The independent newspapers, and this one in particular, seem bent on suicide.
The government pays 80% of their advertising revenue. We should lean on them.
I think it would be far more civilized if Delhi were to lean on Kyle.
Much better. I thought you'd been going soft on them lately. Do they know you're onto it?
Well, Dolly Lomas keeps trying to telephone me.
She's on the wrong side. Her face implies she has a heart. I like it, I like it. You keep this up, the Home Secretary will be sending you to the coal mines.
He got out of one himself rather neatly.
Or to one of those ARCs. You might even become the first guinea pig.
Oh, I shouldn't think so, Tony. I'm way down on the list. I am trying to get hold of one, actually.
Picture editor.
Oh, Frank, what have we got on the ARCs?
Channel 2, okay?
Thanks.
That's just library stuff. I thought we had somebody there shooting new pictures.
We did, Kemp.
Well, why on earth hasn't he photographed it with a new wire fence round it?
He did. Somebody wearing size 14s trod on his camera.
And what's the betting the union will blame Kemp for bringing the profession into disrepute?
That's a lot, Tiny.
We sent Kemp a fresh camera.
No point. They have him inside for interrogation.
Well, get 3 more photographers down there. Shoot what they can.
Right.
That's more like it.
You're wanted.
They do seem lost without knowing where I am, Tiny. Give them the usual false scent, will you?
Take this for a drive round London, will you? Oh, Wilkie! Urgent. The loo can wait. You're young, you can hold it. Archives.
Where is he?
Your man Kyle is on the move. In Knightsbridge. Car or taxi, I'd say.
Import-export agent, they're the one.
That's it. Right, now the press card and the real identity card, put them in the safe, Molly.
Oh, where are they?
Inside jacket pocket. One, two. What do you mean you can't stand being tied down?
There's a world out there, man.
You can read and write, you seem of sound mind, you knew what you were doing when you signed Form P17.
You sound like one of them.
I may be. Computer engineers aren't just two a penny. It's taken years to train you. Now you want to duck out just when you're getting useful. I say you seem to have tried everything. Request for an exit permit, then an appeal. Ombudsman's Court. Which Ombudsman's Court?
The one in Leeds.
Oh, those ventriloquists. When they say no, you can see the Home Secretary's lips move. How'd you get on with the public control inspectors?
I kept my cool.
You know any of them personally?
None by name. Just the two I told your blokes about.
Did we contact him or did he contact us?
Look, I told my girl I'd like to get out. Next thing, this bloke came up to me in the pub and...
Jimmy's satisfied, sir's call.
Who's his girl? Very pretty girl.
And dependable.
She's okay, she's clear.
We have to make sure that you are not bait with bells on. Right, Mr. Nolan, you're on your way.
Can I put in a few quid towards costs?
Hang on to your wallet. We don't need your money now. One day we may well need your support. Anyway, you send us a nice donation when you've made it rich in the States, all right?
Hi, Doc.
Daddy, you came home to tell me a story.
Hello, my darling. It's not bedtime yet. Not even yours.
I want you to read me Mary Brave.
Mary Brave?
Daddy, you know Mary Brave.
Who's Mary Brave, then?
Mary Brave's a British girl in the 1970s who wanted to save the polar bears. She tried to get the money from rich men, but they wouldn't cough up. So the government gave her the money. And she saved the polar bears and lived happily ever after. Having married and had the standard 2 kids.
Who publishes that rubbish?
Daddy.
Sorry.
His Majesty's Stationery Office. It's in all the schools.
You will read me Mary Brave.
We'll see, darling. We'll see.
Dr. Vickers?
Yes?
Department of Public Control, Doctor.
I'm sorry?
You applied for an exit visa.
Yes.
It was turned down. You appealed. It was turned down.
Yes.
We do have right of entry, Doctor.
Just a minute. What for?
We have reason to believe you may be in touch with criminals who are trying to get people out of this country without exit permits. I must insist, Doctor.
What's happening?
Don't worry, ma'am. We'll be careful. Upstairs.
No!
By the living room.
My child's in there.
Look, what are you doing?
Leave her alone.
Hey, look here, bully boy!
It's no good, Dr. Vickers. We do have the right. We don't like violence.
Well, I know the risks. All for love. Nothing in your back pocket.
You gave him the usual something for the sake of appearance, I hope.
Yeah, which they give back. I mean, how do you explain to 3 merchant seamen that if they get caught, they get sentences twice as heavy if they've done it for love and not for money?
Evening, Mr. Brett.
Hello, Bob. What are you doing out in the night like this? I'd have thought you'd have been at home watching television under the sun now.
I'm a spark. Who's your friend? Not another. You import-export agents must be minting it.
Well, the state couldn't when they took us over. Now it's come back, all is forgiven.
The state is not as keen on the readies.
No, he gets a cut off my percentage. We're both on the bread line.
They give away those in supplementary benefit now, do they?
Why don't you try commuting your immigration officer's pension? Buy one.
I'm too cautious.
Smashed again, Tyler.
Hi, Steve.
Mr. Brett?
Just checking freight against manifests. You in checkpoint for a bit?
Yeah.
Half an hour, that's all. Any complaints?
No, just a waiting, that's all.
Hello, Kendall. I thought somehow you'd be spokesman. You'd sell me a second-hand car any day of the week.
All I've ever sold is ideas.
Lousy ones, too, if the Department of Science is to be believed, which of course it isn't.
I'm no Einstein.
I'll take your word for that. I'm surprised they even tried to stop you getting out.
You can get 10 more in there if pushed.
Oxygen intake. What about the customs rummage cruise?
You tap it. If you get a hollow sound, you'll be the first.
X-rays?
Nothing shows through. New metal from Germany.
I think we'd best get back up there. Terrence on the lookout for the EOs are sniffing around.
Good luck, Nana.
Welcome to the getaway set.
I have just said I will do what I can, Dr. Vickers. But they were acting within the law. And you admit they didn't use violence?
God!
Well, I mean, not real violence. Oh, no, don't get me wrong. We're not changing society to give bully boys a field day.
But that's exactly what's happening.
Yes, well, that is your point of view, Doctor.
Has your house been searched?
But if they had good reason to, I would...
MPs are exempt from search and entry, and you know that.
For that is essential privilege to safeguard freedom.
Freedom? Whose freedom?
Now, look, I've said I will look into both cases, your patient and yours. Now, what more can I do?
You'll do nothing. And you'll do nothing because you're all right, Jack.
Violence is the language of lunatics. I thought doctors were here to cure, not to cripple. I am just one poor bloody MP, Doctor. I can't deal with every damn complaint. Look, this shopkeeper, he reckons that the PCD wealth tax boys ripped up his floors looking for gold sovereigns and Krugerrands, and all they found was dry rot. Not a word of apology. No. It will take time to sort out the bureaucrats. Time and courage. And on the part of people like you, patience.
You all right, Frank?
No disrespect to my flock bird, but I'm going for that 1 o'clock back to Paddington. I've had my belly full of whiners.
Our comrade hacks sound shrill today.
Worried about their pensions. Still, if they will work for a state-run rag.
You're teaching Pravda a thing or two. I like today. Most days I can't stand, but today I'm in love with it. Don't suppose you've thought of a good follow-up to make them twitch tomorrow?
I might have. I'd like to have. I hear that the Gazette's editors have been called in to have the Riot Act read to them by Scarden last night. Apparently the Home Secretary thought their front-page banner too tame.
They changed it
Yeah.
to this.
Yeah.
They could end up as the first patients in the arts.
Serves the bums right. I have got to go out for a bit, Tiny.
Idea for features. How many non-smokers still use lighters?
Good afternoon.
I believe it is Kyle. Lunch at the PCD today was like the Last Supper, everyone looking for Judas.
Was he there?
The steak was not to his liking. Classified secret, Kyle. Burn the photocopies when you're done. They show the senior appointments to the new ARCs. On these papers, there are only recommendations, but you can take it from me, they're all confirmed. You see the names of certain notorious mind benders among them. Professor Ellis has control of Center 3, and Dr. Boswell, Center 5.
I know of them.
Some poor devils presently will know them at close quarters.
Well, are they...
And you can sit there and tell me that Kyle has got the ARC appointments list?
And got it right.
The Home Secretary only ratified them this morning. I suppose Kyle went off our tracking screens?
As usual.
And this department is top-heavy. Judas could be any of 40 men.
Or women.
Or them. What did you say when he rang?
I said the story was completely untrue.
You said it off the record, I trust.
I'm never on the record with Carl.
I can see the Home Secretary's face when he hears this.
Our union's stronger than his.
Is it stronger than his union? You don't have to put up with his wrath. Neither do you, Denny. We needed another month before those appointments were made public. Both Professor Ellis and Dr. Boswell will have to be put over to the people.
Or kept right out of the picture.
How's that possible?
By cancelling their appointments.
You think the Home Secretary would do that?
Oh, he'd do anything to save his skin. He's not known as survivor for nothing.
I should be careful, Denny.
He wouldn't like to hear that.
Then don't tell him, Tasker. Survivors don't put freaks like Ellis and Boswell in charge of sensitive centres of correction. It's not so much like putting Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in control as Mr. Hyde and Mr. Hyde.
Don't quote that bourgeois pap at me, Delly.
We do have less unattractive men who know just as much about happiness and misery pills and who don't actually look like monsters. The department mustn't let idiots make fools of us. I'll talk to Kyle about killing the story. On condition, you tell me the Home Secretary will rescind those 2 appointments.
You have my word.
I can tell Kyle that.
If you can locate him.
I'll find a way.
Your visitor's here, I think.
Yes, that's him. He looks younger than his printout shows.
Well, you can't have hoped to have made much of a dent in that cast-iron lot.
She thought I had a case, and so do I.
Deli Lomas?
Is that her name? Yes, well, she admitted that having a child with severe bronchial asthma does give me reason to take the job in Arizona, yes.
And reminded you that you'll be getting 6 times the salary over there, and that after all you had signed Form P17. Well, that's the usual line, isn't it? What did the lady have to say about the searches?
She advised me to forget those. She said they were just officials doing a job under the law. 3 men turning over a sick man's house in the middle of the night, and 3 more searching mine. Even if my child were well, I wouldn't want to stay.
This room could be bugged, you know.
Well, so?
All they're getting now is a screech that's ripping out their eardrums. Do you have any final advice for you?
Yes, she did. She told me to apply to the Ombudsman's Court.
Where some tame time servers would shake their heads, probably recommend you for treatment at one of the adult rehabilitation centres.
I'd leave illegally first. I mean that.
You didn't tell Milady that.
No, I didn't. All I said was that I'd see you and the rest of the media.
Oh, I bet she smiled at that.
Yes, she did smile.
Yes, well, she would, yes. Ah, problems. Where can I get in touch? If I decide to do a piece, which is highly unlikely. These cases, they're not news anymore. Far too commonplace. I'll get someone to show you out, Doctor.
It's all right. I'll find my own way down.
Delhi Lomas, please.
I suppose Miss Lomas didn't arrange for her movements to be recorded?
No, sir. Did you expect her to?
Oh, no, just thinking of her own security.
What's the matter? Expected something more exotic?
No, more style.
This isn't the civil service, Delhi. You lot have got it made these days. I wouldn't mind an original oil painting or two like yours.
Your envy's showing.
Who would have thought that the bureaucrats and the snoopers will be the last of the big spenders? You know, I don't know what Sotheby's and Christie's would do without your lot. I'm surprised you haven't slummed it in Fleet Street before.
Well, you've never asked me down.
Down is the word. Don't imagine we'll always stay down, though.
Not bad, nearly up to date.
Make any addition you feel inclined to disclose. Not another.
6 adult rehabilitation centres, not 5. See how wrong you can be, Kyle? I could put in 4 more that will be bought by next week. But you've run out of discs. I can't understand why you don't use more reliable sources. When you're good, you're very, very good. When you're bad, you're loud and nasty. And misinformed.
Thank you for the citation. Perhaps you'd care to recommend me in the next King's Birthday Honours list.
There might not be another.
I could be taping this, you know.
This will be wiping it. I say again, no more King's Birthday Honours list.
Can I use that information?
It depends to what extent we help each other. I can help you.
Not in the way I want. Why should I beg? I have the run of the larder anyway.
Because we're putting locks on the larder.
I do hope they hold.
I can give you more inside stuff than your contact.
My contact, Delhi. I think you've been reading far too many fairy stories published by His Majesty's Stationery Office.
You'll clearly never disclose his identity.
Not unless they try to bend my mind in one of your adult rehabilitation centres.
There's no risk of that, Kyle.
They'll be certain.
You're exaggerating again. It's one of the habits of your trade.
Don't be too sure, Delhi. The thumbscrew is child's play to men like Professor Ellis and Dr. Boswell. They make the Beast of Belsen look like some thick amateur.
Ah, I was coming to that. Ellis and Boswell will not be in charge of centres 3 and 5. You don't trust me?
Oh, implicitly.
The appointments have not been confirmed. And that's going to leave you very egg-faced in the morning.
Well, I'll stick to my story.
It's your reputation. Get it wrong too often, you could end up a clerk in the civil service.
Think of the pension.
You have 2 anti-public control department stories tomorrow. The Ellis Boswell lie.
Fact.
And the poor doctor with the asthmatic child we won't allow out to earn a ransom in Arizona. Kill the Ellis Boswell lie, and I'll tell you about the King's Birthday Honours list.
Go on.
The next one will be scotched in favour of certain privileges. Well, the Home Secretary's been pressing this in Cabinet, and he's got it through. Fair swap. That's a lead.
That doctor, I understand you suggested he should go to the Ombudsman's Court. Do you think they'll let him out?
Do you? This country needs every doctor it can hold on to.
It was Pitt, wasn't it, who once said necessity is the creed of
And
slaves?
somebody else said liberty is the luxury of self-discipline.
All right, Delhi. I'm not going to write a plea for Dr. Vickers.
I thought that you'd written me off. I thought you were on their side.
You sure you still want to get out?
Yes, providing there's a guarantee that my family will follow.
Dr. Vickers, under this government, nothing is sure.
The European Convention
States that your wife and children shall be allowed to follow you.
Yes.
Correct. But then the government may backtrack. Your family, how are they off for money?
Enough to last a year.
Oh, a month should see them through.
Can I pay you?
No?
It must have cost you something.
Dr. Vickers, don't concern yourself with our funding.
Can you take him down there? I've got 2 more to pick up.
You wouldn't go for package tours. Make a fortune when people have got enough money to go abroad for their holidays again.
I mean, when they start letting anyone out again. That crossed my mind, yeah.
Daddy, you'll read to me.
Hello, my darling.
You're not going out again.
No, I am here just to read to you. Look, you go and get me a book, eh?
Love, what should I pack for you?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, that's what they said, nothing.
How did you hear of this?
One of their deckhands.
You know his name?
He was on straight Scotches at the time, but he said his name was Tyler.
How many?
4 to 5. One of the starboard cabins. I wouldn't mind crewing myself with your lads when they go in.
Not yet. We'll wait till near sailing time. Never know. The collection might grow.
What did your wife say?
She doesn't know.
You're a liar. You always tell your wives.
She's reliable. Tears, if that's what you mean, but there were no hysterics.
What about your daughter?
No, we didn't tell her. She doesn't know. She doesn't even suspect.
Wouldn't bank on that if I were you.
Something good for a change. So let's have no cock-up.
Not even a rat could get off that ship now.
It was mice last time, Mr. Nichols. I recall your saying not even a mouse could get aboard without being seen by your emigration officers. But Concord left Heathrow with 4 illegals for New York.
We all learn from experience. Even you, I suppose.
Now, Jack, we can take it you've got enough of your lads around that ship.
They're in it, on it, all over the quay, and in 2 boats should anyone make a dive for it.
Dive? In this weather? Where to?
How about the bottom? Maybe they'll think it the best place.
Have you ever thought about getting out yourself?
Any time. Where would I go?
Well, the States?
Well, they don't have our public control department over there. They don't have our regime. My job, what would I do? Just lie around getting fatter.
Do you see much of your family?
Not much. No.
Everything under control, Cameron?
Yes, sir. You say his name's Harper.
wife and child will follow inside a month, won't
Doctor, I've already told you, yes. Unless the Home Secretary decides to change the rules. Yes?
Turn back now. Understood?
Understood. It's off.
Off? What do you mean? Why?
In circumstances like this, Doctor, you don't ask why. You just make a very fast U-turn.
Claim that the menu for next week's banquet is too lavish. The Lord Mayor.
I'm sorry I'm late. My secretary didn't realize just how far I had to come.
She told you about the freighter?
Yes, thank you. I'm very grateful for the tip-off.
It's none of my business, Kyle, but it did occur to me you might have, acquaintances involved.
No.
Good. Good, only those poor devils don't stand a chance. The illegals will get the usual 2 years, or 1 year on misery pills. The department aims to be very hard in this case. Let's hope those seamen did it for gain. They'll get 12 months. If they did it for idealistic reasons, they'll get, 2 years.
Have you any idea who the helpers were?
Well, one's a seaman named Harper, and we believe 2 more are in it. Don't take Scarden's chaps very long to find out. They brought a new dimension to interrogation.
When are they going to spring the trap?
They're leaving it right up to sailing time, in case a few late hopefuls show up. Oh, and there's this. You never believe it, but the Home Secretary is pressing a novel notion in Cabinet to change the King's birthday honours list.
Oh, really?
That's his paper to the Cabinet. In place of titles and seats in the upper house, he wants to award happiness pills and the right to extra rations of meat and petrol and the purchase of luxury goods. Oh, and make sure you burn that after digesting, won't you?
Thank you.
That's it. Let's go.
Now on, get him! Get him!
John.
The Department of Food announced today plans are going
Open up, Public Control Department.
all pensioners and members of authorized
Don't be daft. There's no way out.
State Circus has denied strongly
Right, they're coming off.
of illegal emigrants had had appeals for exit visas turned down by the Ombudsman's courts, and all had signed Form P17, promising to
Two of
work
them have
in
been
Britain
duffed
for
up.
10 years after graduation.
Sea was rough in the Pool of London.
Rough?
Two
What?
of the men suffered minor injuries.
Minor?
These were caused in a fight among themselves.
Fight amongst them? So where were you? I mean, why were you down there? I mean, they're being duffed up by the PCD.
You don't know that, Tiny. You don't know that there wasn't a swell and they all fell down or something.
In the Pool of London? I don't know you sometimes. You pull out that story about those bloody monsters running the arks, and then you can't be bothered to go down there when little blokes are being trampled on.
Little blokes? They're selling up and going off to America. I don't want you grumbling about it. Give me a damn good lead story.
This garbage about Fancy Dan and his miner's lad leading his favoured workers into the promised land of special rations and happiness pills? Leave off.
It's a good lead.
That's the lead. Or it should be.
Well, it's not going to be, is it? And you know it isn't. Who cares about that lot of grabbers? Isn't that so, Wilkie?
It's believed that this coup by the PCD is part of an intensified campaign to stamp out illegal emigration and the rackets that have grown up around it. The organisers are still being sought. It's understood that 2 and possibly 3 members of the crew will be charged tomorrow with aiding illegal emigrants for gain. One of the men arrested...
The media lot did well by us.
Yeah, they went in too close in Nolan, though. You could see the cuts and bruises.
I thought they were convincingly explained.
Oh. Otherwise, full marks to Jack Nichols and his chaps.
Jack Nichols looked like a camp warder. The image was bad.
He's done a great job. I expect the Home Secretary through shortly to compliment us. Him. The department. Today was a coup. A lesson for the unpatriotic elements.
Oh.
You tired, Dilly?
It was all so clumsy and it looked brutal.
It had to be.
Did it have to be seen to be?
You don't begrudge Nichols his small triumph.
Small being the word.
It's for you.
Hope I'm not spoiling a champagne celebration.
No, carry on.
Well, it's just that quite a few people would like to know how that bloke... What was his name? Nolan? Came to look as though he were the victim of a mugging.
May I call you back?
Oh, yes, darling, yes, you do that. Not too late, though. Remember, our deadline is earlier than the stake-run rag.
Kyle.
Well?
You're going to have to put something out to say how that man came out looking so bloody and bruised.
That shouldn't be difficult, should it?
No problem. He was drunk and fell out of his hammock.
Scarton. I'll hold. It's him, Home Secretary.
Then I should tell him that Kyle's onto his plan to substitute extra meat, petrol and luxuries for the King's birthday honours.
Yes, Home Secretary.